We should begin. Thank you very much for coming, as usual. And as usual, we have some dissatisfaction to vent regarding the Security Council meeting format when we applied last week for an emergency meeting. The Security Council to discuss in particular or especially the drone attacks on Port Sudan and on other key towns and cities in Sudan, in particular the electric facilities, water, electric facilities, hospitals and civilian facilities, which has been going on unabated. So regarding the format of the Security Council, although we do thank the President of the Security Council, the PR of Greece, for his cooperation and coordination of the meeting, but we certainly have that we thought that the meeting did not satisfy our expectations although we do respect the neutral role of the Greece has met one of its guiding principles of its objectives during its presidency and membership of the Security Council. But we wish to express a few concerns. The UAE intervention in the work of the Security Council, according to the evidence we have had, seeks to undermine the primary responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security. It also seeks to silence Sudan's voice within the Council, claiming that Sudan is exploiting the Security Council platform to promote propaganda against it, according to the testimony of the witnesses, experts, media, professionals, strategic centers, observers, and investigative journalism, Western journalism. Our statements provided arguments, evidence, statistics, and a legal basis, a legal substantiation basis of the conflict or the war of aggression, which has been promoted by UAE and its surrogates and proxies in Sudan and across Africa, and in addition to the mercenaries. So we think that what we stated about the UAE's aggressive role was supported by international circles, human rights organizations and others. Those who seek to silence our voice, aware of this fact, have employed all possible means, pressures to silence it, disregarding its inconsistency with the Charter and the Council provisional rules of procedure. So the UAE is leading efforts and exerting pressure on the Council to unfairly influence Sudan's position within the Council. So we have no evidence that the esteemed Council, by choosing current secret format, will perform its functions in the absence of media outlets. We also appreciate that the Council may have sought to avoid the impression of division or lack of cohesion, given that the war of aggression and those seeking to exacerbate it are well known to the Council. So the Council may have sought to conduct a constructive and serious discussion of this escalating aggression, but we thought that we have ended up victimizing the voice of Sudan, which should be given the room it deserves. Regarding the drones attack, we have this information to share with you. First, the drones attack on Port Sudan has significant geopolitical implications and reflects the UAE hostility. The UAE interest is establishing a military presence in Sudan as part of its strategic plan to enhance its influence in the Red Sea region and East Africa. In addition, these regions are critical for international shipping routes and have been affected by piracy and regional conflicts. So the suicidal drones attack that hit Port Sudan or targeted Port Sudan, the temporary administration capital during the war, came from across the Red Sea from one of the UAE military base. The UAE military base launched a strike as requested and demanded by the RSF targeting Port Sudan Airport and the civilian and oil facilities within Port Sudan that led to disturbing operations and affecting infrastructure. The full extent of the damage is still being assessed. So we think the UAE and RSF are typically equipped internationally to target or intentionally to target Port Sudan because it is a key gateway for the Sudanese government, and the disruption can have significant consequences. Not only this, but on the region, on trade, and on the security of the Red Sea. So the insurgents of the RSF are secretly advocating for an attack against the Sudanese Sovereignty Council members in Port Sudan. The UAE is determined to offer massive military support to RSF to prevent their fiasco after the recent successful operations have repelled the massive sitting of the RSF in the urban centers in the middle of Sudan. So Port Sudan stability is crucial, and collaborative efforts are essential to ensure the safety and prosperity of this vital coastal city. We look forward for the engagement of the UN and the international community and those regional partners of peacemaking in connection with the war of aggression in Sudan. So it is likely that the drone attack on Port Sudan was executed by a long-range MQ-9B or MQ-9 drone from one of the UAE military base, which is strategically located along the Red Sea and Gulf of Eden. We assume the UAE Navy vessels carries significant logistical operation of suicide drones. The MQ-9B drone provides a footprint for the UAE to support RSF military operations efforts in nearby conflict zones, including Port Sudan. So the key findings in this respect, one assumption could be the UAE military aircraft attacked by Sudanese armed forces in Niala airport on May 3, 25 killed 13 number of foreigners. Some say including even Emirati citizens, including Kenyan citizens co-pilot, may have driven the reprisal attack, including the attack on Port Sudan airport by the UAE. So therefore, if this was valid assumption, the UAE military base launched intentionally on May 4 a weaponized drone attack on Port Sudan airport from beyond or the Red Sea itself. In May 4, several OPS ground agents or group agents reported GPS jamming events resulting in the drone showing its position. Several hotspots were identified, including over the Red Sea. So in May 4 as well, at least 8 cruise missiles or drones were launched from over the Red Sea, reportedly launched from a UAE military base targeting Sudan. The Red Sea international water and air base has been used for at least 5 hours of concessions to attack Port Sudan airport. So the drone attack on Port Sudan airport and other cities was intended to disrupt and isolate Sudan during these telling times. This UAE strategy includes drone attacks on infrastructure and security institutions aimed at countering the influence of the Red Sea region attacks against Sudan. So the UAE establishment of a military base in other areas, across the Red Sea reflects a strategic interest in securing in East Africa integrity routes. It is expanding influence in the Horn of Africa, which is now an asset for regional instabilities. So the attack highlights the ongoing security challenges and threats faced in the region, impacting both local and international interests. So the key finding, the UAE and RSF have strategically planned to attack Port Sudan, a vital maritime hub for the Red Sea, plays a crucial role as temporary capital of Sudan and government dignitaries and security residents, and also a safe hub or safe haven for the displaced in their thousands. Its strategic location makes it a focal point of UAE and RSF activity and geopolitical interest. However, this prominence also makes it susceptible to various security threats, including drone attacks. So another possibility is that the attack involved the use of suicide drones, a type of unmanned aerial. The Hunter 2S drones were flown out from the Red Sea, international water, communicated with the UAE Navy vessel, armored cruiser missile, carry out complex cooperative attacks with a high degree of autonomy that is designed to carry explosive and detonate upon reaching its target. These suicide drones were launched from remote locations in the Red Sea, international waters, maybe southwest the Red Sea, making them a formidable tool in modern unstoppable and difficult interception asymmetric warfare. So some suicide drones came from the Port Sudan, from West Port Sudan, where the air navigation interception system radar across the western Sudan, nearly Abu Hamad, across eastern part of the city, it has been detected. So the geopolitical tensions, Port Sudan is a corridor for significant political capital routes, and control of destruction of this temporary capital can shift regional power dynamics. And economic disruption targeting Port Sudan airport, government facilities and officials can have devastating effects politically, military, and economic supply chains, impacting regional stability, and also escalate the war of aggression which was approaching its end before this escalation of attacks. So we think that RSF dedicated an incident response team from foreigners in places to manage and mitigate any operational failures, and the UAE and RSF has worked or collaborated together to achieve this. One final point is that the France 24 observers, as you have known, obtained a document linked to the sale of the Bulgarian mortar bombs found in Sudan. It is a delivery verification certificate, a document from the person supposed to be the end user of the weapons that attest that they were delivered. It's issued by the armed forces of the UAE, the first frame. This document attests that the army receiving a shipment of the same type of mortar shells shown in the video filmed in Sudan, 81 millimeter mortar bomb, HE, final frame, as well as other types of mortar bombs. The Emirati army is listed as the end user of the bombs. Two companies involved in the transaction are also listed, an Emirati company called International Golden Group, PJSC, second frame, and a Bulgarian company called ARM/BG Limited, third frame. This is what the France observer team has come to reach. So the document shows just how large the shipment of mortar bombs was. 15,000 bombs, measuring 81 millimeter, like those seen in the videos from November 21-24, filmed in Sudan, but also 2,780 bombs measuring 60 millimeter, 30,000 measuring 82 millimeter, and 11,464 bombs measuring 120 millimeters, much more powerful caliber. So this is in a nutshell what we want to share with you in the aftermath of the Security Council. If anyone has got any question.
What do you concretely expect from the Security Council?
Yes.
Other than words?
Yes, we expect from the Security Council to live up to the expectations of the international, wide international